What's up, everybody?
Hey, Coach.
I just want to start by offering my condolences on the passing of Brendan Malone. My thoughts and prayers are with Mike and his family. Brendan and I got to work a little bit together a few years back when I was between jobs, and I did some part-time scouting for the Seattle Sonics. And Brendan and I just spent basically the whole week together, dinners after training camp, and stayed in touch with him over the years. And just a coaching lifer. Our whole profession is feeling his loss right now, and just want to offer thoughts and prayers out to Mike and his family.
Coach,
Questions?
Just to start, obviously we all feel the same in that regard. But it's curious with you sitting Devin, Kevin, and Bradley. Was that something that was pre-planned going into camp? Hey, we're going to sit them in the second game, or something that just you guys thought of here in the last?
Yeah, I just think, we're going to make these decisions mostly on a game-by-game basis, but I just felt like, obviously we're not going to play them all 5 preseason games. We're going to pace them throughout the preseason. And, this one coming off of the East Coast trip, 3-hour time zone change, afternoon game, sleeps a little bit, compromised right now. I just wanted them to have a few days to, get recovered from that trip before throwing them right back out there.
Curious, who are you starting tonight?
We're going to start Savin, Grayson, J.O., Chimezi, and Nurk.
And then just a quick follow to what you were just talking about. You had talked about being with LeBron, that you kind of learned some things about, I don't want to use the word load management, but how to pace guys that maybe are older. Did you take that into account at all, the previous experience with that, or no?
Not really. All of your experiences throughout your years, give you insight on, the decisions you're making in the present. But I didn't think anything about the last team, when making this decision with these guys.
Coach, with Jordan and Ish, do you have any idea of when they might be back and how they're progressing?
Yeah, hopefully Jordan is close. I think Jordan is closer than Ish, but there's still no firm timeline on those guys.
Looking back to the first preseason game, I know it was a limited sample size there, but how did you like the way the starters looked and what you guys were able to do offensively?
Yeah, the starters look great. That group really had a business-like approach of really playing the right way offensively, playing with pace, playing with the extra pass, being in attack mode, reading defense. But the key to me was that those guys defended at a really high level. Their activity and intensity and care factor on that side of the ball was super high. I think their offensive rating as a starting group was, 86. And obviously their defensive rating was 86 and their offensive rating was super high. So just a great start for those guys.
Coach, you mentioned pace. How much of an emphasis has it been to get the ball across half court quickly and then kind of evaluate from there off a make or a miss?
It's been a big emphasis. We want to attack before the defense is set as many possessions as we can. The best play call we have is advance, drive, and kick, and find a corner three or get to the basket. We haven't even scratched the surface of what I hope we can be from a standpoint of pace, but it's something that we'll continue to emphasize.
There was a kick ahead in Detroit where Book got it, gave it to KD, and he had Burks under the rim. That's kind of the idea, right? Just before they even have matchups assigned.
Correct. You can't double team that, right? And if you do, we're really emphasizing the weak side sprinter principle. So as KD gets that advanced pass and goes into his attack mode, we have to fill second side, corner, wing, right? Because the whole defense is going to come to them, and we either want basket attacks or backside threes. Like I said, it's the best play call I have in my big playbook. That's the best one.
Frank, what did you think about the 3-guard lineups on Sunday and the capability you guys have with those?
Yeah, we got a lot of versatility, right? And obviously multiple ball handlers is part of who we're going to be. A shift in who we've been the last few years, where Chris really dominated the action and was the true floor general out here, one of the best of all time to do it. We don't have Chris on our roster this year, so we're going to use a multiple ball handler attack, and we see a lot of versatility with that.
Coach, is there any thought process into not showing too much against a team that you're going to see so much during the regular season and going into the playoffs maybe?
Yeah, it's something we talk about. Our coaching staff talks about that at length, and, it's a balance. There's certain things we don't want to show, and there's certain things that we need to work on and build habits and execution, So, it's a balance.
What do you want to see from Nurk on defense moving forward?
Just to fit into our system. You know, we have specific rules of how our bigs want to play, and you know, obviously, you know, playing tonight against Jokic is going to be as big a challenge as he'll face all year. But you know, all the coverages that go into trying to slow down Jokic is really a team. It's a team affair. You know, we have to compete on the ball with him, but you know, there's a lot of coverages that all five guys got to be locked into.
Savin was a guy that emerged in this very specific part of the season in a small size, but Monty and the guys just raved about how well he approached that. What did you see from him getting to know his game a little bit over the summer in that tape sessions you talked about, and just what you've seen from him in camp so far?
Yeah, I think he's somebody that can really help us. You know, he gives us a counter pitch to, you know, our you know, Brad and Devin running the point for the most part, gets those guys off the basketball, and gives us a small, speedy guard. You know, a lot of the ways that campaign would come in and help us. You know, the last few years, you know, he just gives us that different dynamic. I thought he played really well. His field goal percentage wasn't great, but you know, quite frankly, I had him out there with guys that are used to being set up. You know, so he was in attack mode almost every time down the floor, and I probably wore him out by doing so. But he played a really good game.
Value in those two-way spots already in the short time they've been around? How much you can help teams?
Absolutely. You know, just the value in practice is important, and you know, the 82-game season is a marathon, you know, and you got to have depth and guys that you believe in and trust. And, you know, I think Doak has really played very well for us in training camp, and, you know, made a case to, you know, be in there competing for minutes, you know, for our group throughout the season. So excited about what he can bring to the table as well.
You mentioned the trip, and obviously part of that was going to be in his world, so to speak. What was that like, seeing his environment and seeing the people that he works with and his company and all that stuff?
Yeah, it was awesome. It really was. You know, he's been so good to all of us that you know, there was a pure intention of going in there and participating, you know, and getting to see his world up there. I mean, what he's built with UWM is, you know, he's the best in the world at it, or best in the business at it. And you know, the culture that he sets, you know, it's not just about the success that he's had, but the way they do things, the high level of accountability, but also treating the employees very well is a great message. Something I welcome, you know, him bringing to the Phoenix Suns. The campus is impressive. His home was great, and the whole trip was really good.
Hey, Coach, last year the Suns were toward the bottom in free throws per game, and I know you got over 40 on Sunday. It was the first preseason game against. Is that really an emphasis this year, really, to force that action like to the guys, or is that just something that happened on Sunday?
Well, I think we will always emphasize that, but I do not have the intention of overemphasizing it. You know, I want our players playing to their strengths, you know, but I do think the better the ball moves, the more pace that you play with, and the more you crash, the more free throw attempts you're going to get. You know, but if guys have good looks, you know, we have 3 elite mid-range pull-up shooters, you know, if those are the shots that the defense gives us, you know, we're going to take those shots, or high percentage shots. You know, I'm not going to force guys to crash into defenders to try to get to the free throw line. But it is something overall that we want to do. But I think it happens through all those other effort offense pieces that we talk about with the running game, the crashing game, the cutting game, and the ball movement game. You know, I think all those things will get those numbers up.